Hi all, welcome to my YouTube channel, and today we are going to discuss about SWOT analysis. So SWOT analysis, as we all are very much aware since our school days till whatever time period we are able to analyze, we are able to be composed, we are able to be seasoned when we are very much comfortable to perform SWOT analysis. Why SWOT analysis is important? Why is it always told necessary? Especially SWOT analysis is performed or it is being told or it can always be taught in undergraduation and post-graduation as well. It is not that people who always perform SWOT analysis will always be perfectionist, will always see success in life. It is again a conditional clause. There are many benefits, many features, examples, if and but clause, that is the conditional clause, to perform or if at all we have performed SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis is a Western thought, is what all of us are aware, but it is not. Just because the Westerners has presented in the research forum, be it published in articles, it is not an alien thought to Indians. But then we haven't conceptually modern it to the citizens of our country. But after the education system has evolved or transformed, so much of changes that has brought in, every aspects of each and every well-being of an individual is being considered in academia too. SWOT analysis, many of us have been thinking that it is applicable only for business studies, but in the personal lives also we can utilize SWOT analysis. To be very honest, this video will always enhance the importance, the impact or the nuances of making a SWOT analysis. This video has been clustered into 2 to 3 different aspects. First, to know the objectives of performing a SWOT analysis, and then the methodologies that at all we can utilize for benefiting the individual or in the business. Then comes the outcome of it. What is the output? What is the level of satisfaction that we are going to gain if we are performing SWOT analysis? Let's get into the video. So, the SWOT yourself video is all about individual perspective and not business perspective. But still, then and there we will be discussing about the examples that deals with business scenarios also. So the objective of this video and the title is to know the internal and external factors. There are 2 different factors, be it in professional, be it in personal, be it in business scenario. One is the internal factor, the other one is the external factor. To convert any negative factor into positive, which is the challenges or the negative. Negative in the sense it's all about the negativity, the weakness we call it. How to convert them into challenges and how to attain them is the prime objective of this video. Methodology. The methodology that we are going to adapt right now is through the presentation slides, and then the worksheets is given. In the upcoming slides, be it in the last few minutes of the session, we should be able to perform our own SWOT analysis. And to know more, you can always mail me, contact me, comment me below if at all we wanted to have any kind of discussions. And lastly, with regards to the outcome, it helps in identifying core competencies of students, be it research scholars, be it individuals, be it professionals of any domain. By using past and current data, future plans can be chalked out. Yes, why 3 tenses are being used? Because SWOT is not to the present state of mind, to the state of culture that it is happening within us or within the business organization. But then when we see, it has to be from the past, because the case history, the history is very, very important. How it was, how it used to be, and how it is right now, how it has to be, and how it is going to be. So all the three senses has to be used for better output. When we perform our SWOT analysis, it is very much important to call a spade a spade. It is called spade a spade. Whatever it is, as it is, it has to be mentioned. And then only the realistic perspectives can be jotted down. Yes. So SWOT: strength, weakness, opportunity and threat. What is strength? What is weakness? What are opportunities? And what are our threats? There are four different criteria in which a SWOT analysis can be performed. There are both positives as well as negatives. Here I use the word negative because it is otherwise termed as weaknesses. Because there are different psychological perspectives where the terminology negative is heard, negative is told, it means completely down. But then the reality has to be understood. So for that reason, it is meant to be red in color. And if you see the top two perspectives, strength and weakness, they both are red in color. Opportunity and threat, they both are green in color because they both are like progressive in nature. But why strength is positive, but why still it is showing in red color? Why is it all danger? Because overwhelming, overconfident perspective cannot help us in gaining anything. It has to be like round the clock. Once it stops and then it again converts itself to be a weakness. The progressive nature cannot be seen. So overconfidence level will stop an individual or any of the business scenario in its progress. So it has to be taken care in every piece of work. Opportunity and threat, yes, here we are able to see a positive word and negative word because threat is always positive. There are certain statements that proves. Threat is negative, it stops, it's a bridge. There are many other research works that proves as well. Balancing both of them should always be an easy task for individuals to carry on. Here if we could see strength, weakness, opportunity and threat. When we talk about the strength, it is always helpful in nature to achieve our goals, to see where we have to be. Are we able to progress further is the attribute. Weakness. Weakness is always harmful. It's like a speed brake. It doesn't allow us to move further to achieve the objective or the goals. Opportunities. It is always seen to be in the minimalistic way because everything is not an opportunity. Wherever the opportunity it is, we see that we have to identify them or seek them or ensure where exactly it is found to achieve the goal. Opportunities. Sometimes we can get it through external features and internal features also. Threat. Threat is completely a negative word which is equating to stress. At times, stress is termed to be a positive word. What is called as stress? When something that keeps us in discomfort, when something that makes us not to move further, which makes us to feel freezed, or when we have a state of mind that all our proceedings are becoming stagnant, that's called as threat. Threat is always converted into positive based on the situation's circumstances. We need not have to worry if threat is there because it is not completely negative. It can always be converted into challenges and then the output or the enduring result can always be obtained. SWOT analysis. Firstly, what is SWOT analysis? As we all know, it is strength, weakness, opportunity and threat. Why are we using SWOT analysis? Because to ensure where we are, what we are and where we are going to be. It is a helping agent to know or make us understand or to give us an awareness as what is that we have to be taking care to lead a successful professional or future. So here are the small reasons that how it has to be taken care. SWOT analysis. Examples of WOW questions. What are WOW questions? We are very sure that since our school days, we are habituated to post questions. Yes. Why do we post questions? To have some answers, meaningful answers, which is satisfying for that particular conditions. Yes. What are WOW words? Some say it as W words. The pronunciation differs. The conceptual ways differs. It's called the United States of America and not the India. There's a reason, right? That's how the WOW word also. What, where, when, who, whom, whose, where, why not. All these are the WOW words. We have to have sensible, realistic, matchable, reasonable answers for all these questions to fill in the SWOT box. When we talk about some of the examples, when it is dealing with individuals, it is merely about who is the WOW word. Who are the people getting involved? Who are the people that makes the best of the human capital in the project when it comes to the organizational scenario? Who are the supporting factors for me to be motivated, or whenever I feel lost, who are the people that helps me revive back to the normal life? This is with regards to the personal upfront. For example, when it comes to business, it's the individual, it's the team member, which is the peer member, the team players, the team lead, the immediate boss or the manager, the divisional officer, or the entire organization. An organization is an entity where two or more people join together to form a business. So it has to be with oneness among all individuals. So who is one WOW word which has got so much of impact towards human capital. Next is when. It talks about the time capital. It talks about the time. It talks about when. Is it during that moment? Is it that hour? Is it that day, that week, that month, that quarter year, half year, 3/4 year, or annual? When it has to be completed? When I have to submit it? When at all I am going to be evaluated? When is the gain given to me? When is the output derived? So we have to be working on several parameters when it comes to time, because time management is very important. Time does not wait for anybody. So it is very important to complete the tasks then and there so that the output result can be derived. No matter what, the errors are there. No matter what, the subconditional clauses are there. If at all excess time is there, the errors can be corrected so that the betterment, the refined output can be derived. Next, what? What is it all about? What is all that I have to perform my task? What is that I have so that I can be motivated to perform anything? What are all the resources, the factors for me to have or to identify to complete the task? Is it working with finance? Is it working with the human capital? Is it working with the ideology or with the strategy that which is helping me to achieve my goal or to finish my task within several period of time? Next is where. Where exactly? Where is the place that I am supposed to report? Is it to the office? Is it to the individuals there in the office? Or it has to be met one-on-one? Or it has to be via whatever kinds of communication? Where I have to be and how it is, that matters. On top of it, why at all it is happening? Why I have to do this? What is that I get when I don't? What is that I get when I do? Who is there to take care if at all any of the disaster is being faced? What is the reason that might likely to happen when it is abnormally taken care? So when we have answers to all these forwards during the SWOT analysis performance is done, we are going to get the most reliable answers. Strategic analysis. What is strategic firstly? Strategic is a word that gives us enough information to ensure how well, how gracefully, how tactically, how technically, how simply, or like in an ease, how it can be handled with no complications. Strategic means itself, it is very much understandable that it has to be handled with care, with less of damage, with less of scrap. Then the SWOT analysis can be performed using strategic analysis. One is to internal perspective, the other is to the external perspective. Strength, weakness. In the previous slide, we saw strength and weakness were in the upper levels. They come under internal perspective. Opportunities and threats. The threats can always be converted into challenges. Those are covered under external perspective. Under every internal perspective, there are reasons why at all it is considered on that particular cluster. Strength. What is strength? The inbound qualities or the experience, the competency, skill that which we have gained within ourselves in spite of undergoing so much years of experience, making so much of errors, mistakes, and how is that we have revived back to be a perfectionist in doing a particular task. So strength is always to build and to enhance. What is to build? People built from scratch are the ones who will be able to know the do's and don'ts of several tasks. They know exactly what is to be done. They know exactly what is not to be done, how it is to be performed, when it is to be performed. So that is the strength that can always be equated to the USP. What is USP? Unique selling proposition. A person's USP cannot be sold overnight because it is taking so much of time for them to build. They are called the exponents, the geek in all. Next is to enhance. What is to enhance? There is already a skilled person, but still how is that the same skilled person can enhance the skill, or enhanced version of output can be given by making groomification. How is that to be groomed? There is something which is needed as the whole error-free output or the outcome or the result. But still how it can be gracefully done? By giving suggestions, by giving any kind of recommendations. Those suggestions and recommendations will definitely have to be helping individuals in progressing to the next level of giving the output. If that kind of output is given, then that individual's focus point, the way they think, is completely different. The different versions of the business scenario can be witnessed. So, the small improvement from one individual can get transferred to the group level. And when the group level outcome is seen in a drastic way, it is going to give a reflective outcome or the improvisation to the next level of team members. So that itself is becoming the strength of that particular organization. But when we talk about the strengths of an individual, it has to be shared. Knowledge has to be shared so that it gets spread over. When spreading is done, the competency skill gets evolved in a big way so that many people is prone to make mistakes and then they are going back to approach that particular individual. So what happens? They are going to give back the solutions. What has to be done? What does not has to be done? Why at all that particular error has been performed? What would have been the best way to call off the error to get the desired output? So under internal perspective, the strength has got so much of potentials to see the desired outcome. Next is about the weakness. Yes, weakness is again from individual's perspective. Why at all it is from individual's perspective? Because our brain box suggests that we are able to give the weakness just because of the way we think. If I'm thinking that, oh my God, it's going to be a Sunday, tiring weekend, but still why I have to be doing this? No. The moment when something is stopping us to be in the comfort place is the moment where we have to realize that it's not going to fetch us anything for God's sake. We have to revive back and to start proceeding. Just take a short break and then we have to bounce back to the normal way to proceed with our things. So when we talk about weakness, it gives us resolve and reduce. Overnight it cannot be reduced, but still it can be minimalistically handled in a better way for better outcome. Resolve. What is to resolve? Anything that has got its curfew situation or state of mind. What is curfew? It is a thought that which forbids us to be performing. It's like a speed breaker again. Should I have to be doing it? Am I fitting into the box? Am I really eligible to do this? Am I really capable of handling it? Is one of the factors or many of the factors that creates doubt within us, and it does not allow us to be really performing. Reduce. What is to be reduced? The weaknesses, the list of weaknesses. No human being will not be there in this globe with no weaknesses. There are weaknesses, but it is left up to the individuals to accept what weakness is. For somebody, that particular individual's weakness will be the strength. Until and unless the team player or the individual persons, the opposite party knows the weakness, nobody can be touched. But then reducing them is an art. The acceptance of individual's attribute in knowing the weakness and working on it to convert that weakness into a strength itself is a very big thing. That has to be worked upon with no selfish thoughts. Yes, weaknesses is fine, but not to the longer period of time. It cannot stop us in proceeding to the future tasks or achieving the goals. That's about internal perspective. Next, external perspective. When we talk about the external perspective, it gives two clusters, the opportunity and threats. What are opportunities? Where exactly it is found? What exactly that I can do with the features or the factors that I am given through my friends, through my family members, through my peer members, through my business organization, through my well-wishers. Keeping that, how is that I'm going to flourish in my life, exploit and expand. Opportunities can be utilized in either ways. It can be manipulated when we are overconfident in using about it. It can be exploited when we don't use it properly in a healthy way. It can be expanded. How? Sharing is caring, they say. In organizations, anything has to be shared to some extent so that the entire team is going to get benefit. When the entire team is going to get benefit, obviously the individual employee is also going to get benefit out of it. The growth of business organization is from the growth of each and every individual's performance and output. So opportunities can be created, it can be identified, and it has to be shared with people for the growth. And to some extent the opportunities cannot be shared because it is always, it is from the give and take policies. You help me to help you better should be the attitude for each and every individual in this challenging environment that all of us should be following. Next is all about threat. What are threats? That gives us a stoppage, that gives us the fear factor in proceeding further, that becomes a speed breaker, that gives us a mental block, that gives us a fear factor. What is going to be the disaster that happens? Threat is to be avoided. Threat has to be taken care in a positive way also, though it is negative terminology. Why threat has to be avoided? If I'm going to do really a disaster act, it is going to bounce back to me during my performance appraisal. So it is better I really perform well to see a fruitful result. I have to put in my shoes, put in my all soul and effort to see the output. And that's the place or when the time that I will be sold in the market. And the competency skill of an individual can also be enhanced, or it is always be witnessed in the market. So these are all the strategic analysis of SWOT analysis. Internal perspective, external perspective. Under internal perspective, it is strength and weakness. It has to be balanced well. It has to be identified. Opportunities and threats come under external factors. Why external? Because it is through the outside sources at times. So outside sources also decide an individual's or team or even the organization's success. Look at this image. Strength, an internal resource or capability helpful to achieve the desired goals. It is within us. I have to be trusting my own instinct. I have to be trusting my own energy level. I have to be trusting my own capabilities and abilities to be performing. And that's called self-efficacy. How well I am able to perform particular task. How well I am able to manage my own means of handling things. Efficacious, being efficacious is an art. What exactly is the best of the deal that I could perform to give a desired unit of output? How well I can use my strengths to maximize the better living to my life. Next is weakness. What is weakness? An internal attribute or barrier to achieve the desired goal. Yes, weakness is there. It's a normal thought process for any individuals. But how long are we going to think about the same weaknesses? We cannot do that because any point of time, life has to be moving on. The business premises has to be moving on. We cannot be a speed breaker for any of the proceedings. When it comes to individual's perspective, when we have a speed breaker, it is fine to a certain period of time so that we can revert back, because it is not going to affect any of the near members, any of the family members to the greater extent. But then the time can be cancelled. The time can be cancelled in the sense the time consumed can be reciprocated, can be utilized in any form. But when it comes to organizational perspective, it is completely different. The proceedings get stopped. If only I am able to give my output in a proper period of time, the other person is going to take up the task and then they will utilize some period of time to give it to the next level of the business operations. So it is very important to think what is the threat, what is the weakness that stops us so that we don't become a bypass. We don't become any of the stoppage to any of the parties. And especially we are in the mid of the progress, we have to take care because there are individuals, there are tasks, there are systems where behind and ahead of us. Next, the opportunity and threat. An external condition that could provide a competitive advantage if properly leveraged. Why in the bracket it is mentioned if properly leveraged? Because it has to be calculated, evaluated, assessed very well. If any of those factors is getting affected or miscalculated or manipulated, the end result or the output is not going to be fruitful. And it is an external condition because it is through the outside agency, outside forces that pokes us within the internal factor. Competitive advantage. Why competitive? Because there is not only one individual, one activity, one kind of act that's performed in the market that's there in individuals, because for everybody the tasks are going to be different, but end of the day the result is going to be the same, the output is going to be the same. How competently, with all the competency scale, how is that we are able to perform really well? That matters. So opportunity is one of the most important advantage that anybody can utilize. Exactly, to know the opportunity, we have to know the nuances of getting things done. How is that? Where exactly I have to be approaching so that I get what I want. What I want in the sense, what are the factors that I have to have? Where is that I can collect the data from? Where is that I can enhance my skills? Where is that I can get the ideology? Who is the person that I can be like a go-to person so that I get solution? I get the facts that is needed for me to be performing really well. That is opportunity. Next is threat. What is threat? Again, it's a blockage. Again, it's going to be something very abnormal. It gives us a fear factor for us to perform further. An external condition which could damage the scope for attaining objective. It is an external condition. Yes, what if anybody says? What if anybody tells it to be abnormal? What if the society is not going to accept? What if it is going to be the new normal? Am I going to be judged? What is that people going to comment for my future life? Is it going to give a different thought? Is it a curfew scenario for me? All these if and but clauses are the threat for the further process, proceedings or phases in our attaining goals. It cannot be any time, it cannot be taken care. But accept the reality, accept the fact. Analyze the situation. Is it going to give me any fruitful result, anything in the future? Then we can take it forward. If not, let us not handle that. So damage once made is made. It can be repaired but not completely done. The scars is there, is seen. The moment when we witness the scar, it gives us a thought. It is not going to be fading away. It is the sign or the symbol of the progress of reviving back. Here are the examples that I wanted to share when it comes to the business scenario. Look at this image carefully. It talks about the strength, weakness, opportunity and threat for the marketing perspective in a business scenario. In the upcoming few minutes, we will be discussing about the SWOT for individuals. Now, when we talk about this marketing analysis example, observe the strength, weakness, opportunity and threat. The company has a strong brand name and is in market leader. The best example are the Tatas. For example, we have to visualize this example, okay? The company has a diversified product portfolio with a wide range of products. Yes, ITC is also one of them. The company has a loyal customer base, which is, it has got its customers who makes continuous purchase. They are not going to compromise with the other sellers. This company has a strong distribution network. Yes, default all the above said three factors will default have the distributed base which is very strong, so that the market segmentation is also going to be very huge. But then when it has so much of strength, we should also be working on their weakness as well. The company is heavily reluctant on its branded products and does not have a strong presence in the generic market. What is generic market? The normal ones. There, the affordability is not able to be convinced. The company's product prices are high compared to its competitors. Exactly. Now look at the products like FMCG goods and the FMCG goods that come from western sides of the globe. The affordability is not there. Every kind of consumer is not able to afford the purchase of the product. The company is facing increased competition from new entrants in the market. Yes, each and every day after the COVID, if we can observe, too many entrepreneurs, homepreneurs has boomed up. And look at the opportunities. The company can expand its new product portfolio by launching new products in the market. Yes, with same product but in diversified thoughts, but with different flavors. That's the new trend. The company can enter new markets and geographies where exactly they are not established themselves. That's the place where they can pitch in the market. The company can increase its market share by implementing effective marketing and promotional strategies. What not? Any kind of product can always be given on demo basis, can always be given on coupon discounts basis. So that's one of the strategies where in the global market, when compared to the global market, the Indian market strategy will definitely be working on. But when compared to the Westerners in India, this kind of promotion is very weak. When we talk about the threats, the company faces the threat of new entrants in the market. Exactly. When new competitor comes, they fail to face them very confidently. They don't want to promote thinking the very old conventional thought in their mindset. The company faces the threat and the substitutes. Exactly. Why substitute products? They produce their own goods. They can also live it in the market. The best example is that Ramraj and MSR dhotis from down south. MSR and Ramraj are the same business entities, but many of the competitors doesn't know that. Many of the customers and consumers are not aware of that. The market segment is completely different. The Ramraj itself has got its different levels or labels on the product as a whole. When it comes to the other allied brand MSR, again it's getting shifted to the other level of customers based on the purchasing power. The company faces the intense competition and rivals. Exactly, yes, when it is not getting reached to the market as strategically they have to be working on with the competitors too. This is a personal SWOT analysis of individuals, that is through the personal stuffs. Strength, weakness, opportunity, threat. When we work on the strength, it is about the self-awareness. What are the unique skills that we possess and what are our talents? Adaptability. What is that we are able to adapt no matter what with whatever factors that we have or not. Strong work ethic. Ethics are a principled way of doing things. These days, ethics is a privilege. Why it is a privilege? Not every field, every sector uses ethics. There are ethics, but for me something which is ethical is not ethical to somebody else. Somebody is going to tell what is it going to be a great deal with it. Why not? Well, let's make a try. Why not we do that? If and but clauses differs from individual's attitude, personality and perception. But it's the normal humankind that we are bound to be working with our own integrity. Networking and relationship building. Exactly. We cannot be living a normal life without socializing. We cannot be interpreting our own selves that we are introverts and we are not comfortable or we are no need to be working with anybody or living with anybody. We have to build the relationships. It has to have bonds. The bondage has to be there, and then only hand in hand growth can be seen. Sometimes the teamwork gives a quick outcome, a quick result. but not in an abnormal way. Passion and enthusiasm. Yes, for an individual who is passionate about doing things or who is very much passionate about in performing things are going to gain a bigger result than they have imagined. Enthusiasm with all motive, with all enthu, if at all the performance is done, the output is going to be bombarding. So that we enjoy that moment, we enjoy that result, so that it motivates us to be performing really better in the upcoming days. Weakness. What are weakness? Lack of skills or knowledge. If at all I don't have that skill, if at all I don't have that knowledge, if at all I'm not able to be performing really well, something I have to be making it like I have to view in and I have to be viewing out. I have to be coding and decoding. I have to know the nuances of it. If at all I am lacking in it, I am going to be a weakest person in my team, in my life. I should have that competency skill. As we have already seen in our previous videos, what is competency skill? It's a combination of knowledge, ability and skill. A person cannot say, I have the knowledge, I have the ability, but to perform if I don't have the skill set, I am okay with it. No. The person is then cannot be told as a competency person. A person should have all the three attributes jointly together to call him or herself as a competently skilled person. Procrastination and time management issues. Will I be able to cope it up? Is it really fitting my shoes? Am I really capable of taking it? Am I really worth making it? Oh God, why do I do it right now? Let me have my own time. Let me take care later. No. If that kind of thought process is there, that's the place where we are going backwards in our progression in the life. Be it personal, be it professional. Fear of failure. Failure is okay. Attempts is okay. But we cannot lay back on that. What is that we can do better to see the success, to perform better? That has to be the ideology. Difficulty in accepting feedback. Feedback is very, very important. It is mandatory for individuals to take care of the progressions. If only the feedback is received, if only the feedback is got, we know exactly what we are up to. We have to make corrections. We have to see that it is error-free. We have to see that it is very normal. Something abnormal is not okay. It has to be activated. The errors has to be noticed, notified for the better version of the task, for better version of individuals. To be a normal human being, to be the normal person, to lead a life in the society, to lead a play in the teamwork. Lack of networking skill. Networking is the latest buzzword. Without networking, we cannot exist in the market, be it in the job market or be it in personal lives. Yes, we have to get through networking. When you take up to the organizational perspective, networking is important. Every competitor is to be noticed, is to be notified to what we are up to. Why? To withstand in the market, we have to be selling ourselves to the greater extent to see better hikes, better involvement in activities, better output can be received so that better pay package can be gotten. That's why networking is very important, which is other way these days replacing it as visibility. Why visibility? If only we are known to people that so and so individual is working on it, so and so people is there who can take care of it, who can be approached for really performing on this. That's one of the reasons. That's why networking is important. Opportunity. What is opportunity? Professional networking and connections. Yes, that creates opportunity. It gives us an ideology what is happening in the new abnormal market. What's happening in the other part of the organization, what's happening in the other part of the country, what is happening in the other region of the state, so that We know exactly what the market potential is. We know exactly where we are landing. What is that we have to be working upon? Skill development through education and training. What are skills? What are skill developments? It's not that something we have got our degrees done, we are well educated. No, it is not sufficient these days. Whatever the education that we have got, it's just an entry ticket to the market. The job market is very huge. Every now and then, every individual has to be updating themselves on the skill sets and mindsets, because that's most important in the job. Just imagine what has happened after the entry of artificial intelligence. The artificial intelligence has taken, or it's replacing many of the sectors. But there are several sectors where it cannot be replaced. There are few sectors where it cannot be replaced completely. There are sectors where it can be replaced. But then the error rate matters. But then it should not make any disaster or any abnormality to the normal humankind. So, getting to know about artificial intelligence is fine. Getting to know how to work with it is also fine. But getting exploited through the usage of artificial intelligence is not okay. That is opportunity. The best classic example for opportunity. Emerging trends and technologies. Yes, we have to be always be updated in the job market, because getting degrees and having a number of years of experience in any of the sector alone will not help us claim these days, in the present and in the upcoming years, that we are skilled employee or a competitor. No, it cannot be. We have to be learning to learn and unlearn things. Why it is important to learn and unlearn? Because the skill set that I had before a decade is not necessary today, because anything can be performed with the software packages. Anything can be done through the help of artificial intelligence. And after artificial intelligence, it is generative artificial intelligence. The outputs can be generated. There's nobody that needs to be validate things. Everything is to be given through proper prompts. The prompting matters these days, which means we have to have the ideology as what is necessary, what is required for us to perform, to have the best of the best results. But end of the day, even though through artificial intelligence, even though through generative artificial intelligence, when an output is derived, it is the common sense of a human mankind to check if it is perfectly fine. Is that what the AI or generative AI has given me what I wanted? Because it is all through prompts that we have given. Even to give the prompts, we have to have the competency skill these days, because it's a holistic view. It gives a holistic view to get the desired output. Increasing globalization and remote work. Why globalization? These days anything is global, because the moment we update in LinkedIn, any part of the country or any part of the globe, any of the connections, any of the networked person or individual is able to know what I am doing here. What is the update that I can give in my sector or in their sector? It motivates them through the push or pull factor to be initiating the task. So when somebody is going to perform through my chain of reaction, it gives hand or ideology to any other different kind of person to be performing really well. So that makes the difference, that makes the growth. So visibility matters. So it is again a continuous chain of reaction that individuals can be working upon. So the growth level of the ideology, the spread over of the particular trend can always be taken care. So that's why networking matters, visibility matters. Next is threat, competition. The fear factor to be a competitor is one of the greatest painful situation these days, because anybody can become competitor at any point of time. But still, how is that we are equipping ourselves? How is that we are able to accommodate ourselves? That matters a lot. The competition is the place where the normalities get to meet in an abnormal way. Why I say abnormal is my focus point is different from somebody's focus point. That is the other competitor's focus point. Why it is different? Because my way of perceiving things is different from others in leading the lives. So what if somebody is going to give an entry so that my competency skill does not match with the other competent person? So how is it I have to be upscaling myself? That matters. Technological advancements, yes. The best example that I have shared in my previous videos. The best classic conventional example, technological advancements is the states of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Before a decade, it was all computer automated offices that we could see in the government sectors. It was a huge opposition that the employees had to face against the government per se. But then the government has taken a beautiful initiative for any designated employees working for the government of Andhra Pradesh and for the government of Telangana. Why? What is the beautiful initiative? The government has taken initiative in giving trainings, free trainings to a particular period of time period for the government servants to get well knowledge towards the usage of computers. Everything was automated. So much of human capital, the time involved, the manpower is saved. Many people were motivated themselves to be working on computers. It was a painful thought. For those kind of government servants, those days before decades, it was a weakness. They don't know to use the computers. They don't know to operate them. They don't even know to type it on. They don't even know to save the document. They don't know exactly where the database has to be. Even the parts of the computers were unknown to be pronounced or to verbalize things. But right now, the entire state, the maximum percentage in the states of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, especially in the government officers, they use this system. Isn't this a great achievement by the state? And the states of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana is serving as the best models in the growth phase. It's a phenomenal growth that we can see. Even many states in down south were motivated themselves to form this kind of government officers to save the commoners time, energy and money. Economic instability, yes. Economical stability plays a major role for the growth of anybody's lives. Economical, what is the amount that I earn and that I spend? What is that I save for me in the future days? What is that is going to be in my future days if I don't do it? Am I able to manage? Am I able to cope up? Is the word. Changing social dynamics. Why social dynamics? What I am being judged. What is it going to be if I am making an abnormal move in my life? Am I going to make a hasty decision? What is that I am going to gain if at all I am going to make a hasty decision? By making a hasty decision, is the society going to treat me normally or abnormally? How am I going to face that? The condition clause. Health issues. Health and wealth has to be taken care in an equal way. When compared to wealth, health has to be given 1% higher. Why? Because health is wealth. Health once lost, it cannot be regained. But to some period of time, health once lost can be regained based on the abnormality. If the abnormality is severe, it cannot be taken care. When the psychological well-being, physiological well-being, everything is fine, then the remaining tasks will take care of its own phase. To perform anything in a normal way or to handle abnormal situations, health matters. The mental well-being matters. Lack of supporting network. Having network is okay. Having friends, relatives, colleagues, peer members, team leader or team manager, team members is perfectly fine. What if they don't support? What is that the support system is failed to give a hand during the times of disaster? How are we going to manage? It is very challenging. So we have to have a watchful thought when we say somebody to be a buddy, to be a best buddy, to be a colleague, to be a motivator, to be a facilitator, or even to be a mentor. So these are all the best examples for having a personal SWOT analysis. What is this? Did you see the list of questions that it is asked? To take better decisions, to focus on strength, to overcome weaknesses, to uncover the opportunities, to minimize threats, to take proactive decisions. Let's get into the details. To take better decisions, yes, not to make any hasty decisions, because once the repair is done, it can be repaired, but not in a greater way. So the decision that we make has to be considered, has to be discussed, has to be recommended to the best of the best mentors in that particular field, or to the family member who makes a wise choices, so that the time can be utilized in a proper way. The productivity can be seen in a better way. To focus on strength, yes, strength, as we have already discussed before some time, is the USP, unique selling proposition. But we cannot underestimate it, we cannot overestimate it. We have to be utilizing the strength in a proper way so that it deals with whatever kind of abnormalities that we are facing or going to be facing. Strength will always give us energy to be performing really well, but overconfidence will also lead to a disaster state of mind. So it is always important to take care of our strengths, but not rusting. We cannot allow it to rust. To overcome weakness. What is to overcome weakness? Something we discussed in the previous. The weakness is considered to be the weakness if it is not worked upon, if it is not taken care during the appropriate period of time. To uncover opportunities. What is to uncover the opportunities or to cover the opportunities? Knowing the opportunity, we have to make the best use of the resources or the places where we can find some of the ideas or strategies for the betterment of our results. To minimize threats. Why is it to minimize threat? We can minimize threat based on the ideas that we are going to work it for the future. We have to always realize when the threat is not worked upon properly, we are not going to face success in an immediate note or in the future note also. Somehow we have to come out of it. After all, people are going to grow up based on the biological age or be it in experienced in their fields. The threat can always be worked upon into challenges and then it can be seen a success rate. To take proactive decisions. Active decisions is also okay. But then proactive is then and there without making any abnormalities, without utilizing so much of abnormal time, the decisions can also be done. What unique skills do you have? We have to know what is that we have. Sometimes we are not sure about what is the strength that we have. It's just like few of us are like Lord Hanuman. Until and unless somebody says, we are not aware of it. So that has to be taken care. What do you do better than anyone else? What is my USP? Strength alone is not the USP. Strength alone is not the competitive factor or force. There should be something which is invisible, but at the same time, we also should be knowing it. What unique resource can you assess? Resource. Am I good in dealing people? Am I good in making best deals? Am I good in coding and decoding? Am I an exponent in something so that it adds value to somebody's project or to somebody's life? That matters. Why do people praise you? There are people who fall for praises, who get flattered for buttery, sumptuous stuff. But it is not cool every time. We have to be cautious if somebody's gonna praise us. Praising is all okay, but not every time. You have to watch out the moves. We have to understand who is praising us, what is it for, and we cannot become a prey to that. What achievement are you proud of? Is it something very small? Is it something which is momentous, which is not adding value, or which is adding value to the life of the society? The achievements that we make in our lives should be voluminous. It should be grateful. It should not cause damage to anybody's life at any point of time, be it personal or be it professional. Especially when it is professional, it has to be taken care, because we cannot bypass ethics. We have to make achievements by utilizing the ethical principles to some extent at least. What values do you believe in? I believe in certain principles that which is not accepted by somebody. Somebody's ethics principles is very much high level to me. I may not take it. My age does not accept it. My experience does not demand it. So it differs. So all this analysis has to be taken care when we work on the SWOT analysis. There are few tips that can be given to take care of the SWOT performance. Be rigorous and be objective. You have to be rigorous. You cannot think all whole day and then put your strength, weakness, opportunity and threat. No. It has to be momentous. It has to be instant. That gives us a real thought. We cannot think, oh my God, I don't know what my strength is. I don't know what my weakness is. I don't know my opportunities. We cannot say that. We have to be knowing. When we perform SWOT analysis during certain period of time, in the beginning phase it is okay, we take some extra time when we perform, but not every time. Which means we are not sure about what we are competent enough. Be objective. What is that I need to? What is that I work for? Am I working on personal SWOT or professional SWOT? Why at all I am working on it? What is the benefit that I can receive? What is that I can work upon? That matters. View from all perspectives. It should not be holistic. It should be from internal and external perspectives also. Holistic, I meant it is not individual holistic perception. It can be complete 360-degree so that the real point of focus can be listed out. Be realistic and be specific. It has to be like facts on ground. It has to be on the grassroots level. Why it has to be? Then only the true realness, the wholesomeness can be explored. Use verifiable facts. Yes, it cannot be doubt. I guess I was on that. I guess I have this. We cannot guess. It has to be there. It has to be evident enough so that it is real. Prioritize. We have to be prioritizing. Somewhere, sometime in the future, after a decade, something is going to happen just because we didn't perform now. That cannot be listed out because it is not materialized, because it is not actualized. It is not visible. It is not tangible or intangible for us to consider, because words does not have the output. Maybe trust factors can be there based on the verbalizing stuff, but when it comes to the facts, it has to be there. Quantum has to be there. And here is a site, and I will also be mentioning it in the description. Whenever time permits, please see that you utilize this. Whenever, as an individual, as a student, as a research scholar, an academician or a business profession, if you use the SWOT analysis, make sure that you make 4 quadrants out of it. And when you want to know the real facts from the Western thought, you can use the hyperlink mentioned from WordPress, so that it gives a better impact for you to perform really well for the growth. And finally, SWOT analysis can perform through several steps. Tips to identify the SWOT and how to list it down. To talk about the strength, when we list down in the quadrant, it has to be from the past and the present. Why it has to be from the past and present? Because how we were, how it was, and how it was to be, and what is it today? How is it today? How it is converted today? How it has turned out today? So that transition itself will show the level of strength, the intensity of strength. Weakness. What is weakness? It has to be from the past and it has to be from the present. Why past and present is important? Because I did not perform really well in my last academic year or in the last financial year. I underwent a training and now I have shown the better result. It is a positive way of converting your weakness. But last year I scored only this much and this time I have got very much little. That is really a weakness, which means from the past till today we haven't made any homework on it. We haven't made any improvisation on it. So it has to be taken care. When we talk about opportunities, it is always futuristic. We have to see for the future, for better future, for better enhancement, for better enrichment. So how are we leveling up? How are we keeping the benchmark to the next level matters a lot. And always it is for the betterment. Threat. It has to be in the future. If I don't perform right now, how is it going to affect in the future? If I don't really do well now, in the future I have nothing to be performing. That has to be the ideology. And towards the right end of the video, you're able to see the template. Anyways, the template is there in the previous few minutes place where you can have the template. You can make an in-depth analysis reading out of it and then you can really perform. The internal factors are the attributes to the individuals. How to capitalize, how to gain. When we talk about the weaknesses, we already discussed how to overcome. And when we talk about the opportunity, how to exploit or to explore. We use it rightly so that we get the best of the result. You use it abnormally and then it is not really going to give us a fruitful result. Next comes the threat. How is it to overcome the threat? When we are overcoming the threat, it has to be a challenging phase. It cannot be a cakewalk. Why I say it cannot be a cakewalk? Because it has to be through a traumatic experience. The word trauma is painful. It gives us a scar. Painful in the sense we cannot always verbally take it as a negative word. Stress, as we already discussed, is not at all a negative word. Stress will be a helpful agent. It will be a mediator for us to progress in a better way, in a quality way, in a quantifiable way, in a generic way. It has to be organic. The threat has to be taken care, it has to be treated well in an organic way. Why? Because if it is inorganic, it will get disappeared within no period of time. It cannot heal completely. To see a better healing process, it has to be done in an organic way. So threat can always be converted into challenges, and when challenges are given, we know exactly how is to be done. The challenges will always go back to the opportunity. We seek for references. We will search for opportunities where at all I will find something better for me to finish this, to gain that, to adopt it. And again, it cannot be a weakness at all. The curfew state of mind is getting removed. The situational if and but clauses is completely going to be eradicated. When that is done, the whole SWOT and SWOG system can be analyzed for the betterment of individuals. And now is the time for pop-up. Expand SWOT. Yes, I hope you could recollect. It is strength, weakness, opportunity and threat. But sometimes SWOT analysis can also be performed. SWOT is strength, weakness, opportunity and challenges. Something is there as threat can be converted into challenges, and those challenges can always be worked upon to get a fruitful result. What are the internal factors in SWOT? I hope you will remember there were 4 quadrants on the top. It is through the internal factors within us. So it is strength and weaknesses. That is within us. We have to be working on, taking care of. What are the external factors in SWOT? The opportunities and threats, which are all through the outside forces, outside agencies. Is SWOT reliable only for business organizations? Did we say it is only for business organizations? Which means, is it meant only for the professional life? I can hear your answer. It is no. Correct. You are perfectly correct. It is no. It is both for personal and professional lives as well, for any kind of organizations. Will you start working on SWOT hereafter? Say a yes. Yes, we have to be working on SWOT analysis. If at all we haven't performed it for a longer period of time in our lives, whatever the age, whatever the designation, whatever the experience that we hold now, it is okay, never late. Please start. Even for business organizations, even for individuals, having SWOT is completely fine. Every quarterly we have to be using. During the beginning days, when you proceed to work on with the SWOT, it is difficult, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of energy. We may not feel interested at all. But trust me, you will enjoy the process. For 1 year if you do, then you will not stop that process for lifetime. Because transformative changes can be witnessed in individuals and business premises. For individuals, please start working on from today, because the better we are today is the best we are going to be in the future. We can work upon the future perspectives. Why at all it is futuristic? Because the AI has given bombarding attributes in all the fields. It is not completed. AI is not completed in many of our lives or in sectors. It can be replaced. I mean, the AI can replace any kind of job at any point of time. We have to be skillful. Our competency skills has to be updated. We are sound enough to adapt to situations. One COVID was enough for the global example to change, to learn and to unlearn anything. We were accommodating COVID scenarios, wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. We were comfortable enough. Even if one other COVID comes, we are very much able, sufficient enough, competent enough to handle COVID. We know the precautions because we have experienced that traumatic situation. Just imagine the whole 2-3 years we were inside the home. We work from home. There were situations where we work with no pay also. There were situations where many lost their loved ones, be it personal, be it professional. We know to handle things. We know to manage the finances. We know to manage our businesses. It taught us a lot, which cannot be replaced. That's the costliest learning that all of us have got in our lifetime. So we cannot take it light. So SWOT is also very important for our lifetime. So it is not that drastic change has to be seen if at all you are performing SWOT every quarter of a year. Every year, at least 4 times, it is highly advisable to perform the SWOT analysis, because 4 phases in a year can give us a decent figure, a decent percentage for the changes that we have adopted, for the transition that we have positively shown. So for the personal development, when we start working on the personal development, the home environment is getting developed. When it is involved in a positive way, the organizational setup also is going to get developed. When the organizational setup is going to get developed, the whole society is going to get developed for a peaceful living. I hope this video is helpful for you with the insights of SWOT analysis for both professional and personal lives. Please don't forget to SWOT yourself for every quarter year. And let me know your comments and share the video if you feel your loved ones worth hearing it. Thank you all and see you all in one other video. Bye.